They say the human mind can ignore a lot of things to protect itself. A floorboard creaking in an empty house? It's just the woods settling. A shadow moving in the corner of your eye? Just a trick of the light. But what do you do when the logic runs out? My name is Elias, and for 3 years I lived in a house that didn't want me there. I'm making this video because if you're seeing this, it means you've probably found the same glitch in the world that I did. And God help you, because once you notice it, it starts noticing you back. It started on a Tuesday, heavy rain. The kind of rain that feels like it's trying to wash the color out of the world. I was driving home late from the office when I saw him. A man standing in the middle of a flooded field. No umbrella, no jacket, just standing perfectly still, head tilted back, mouth wide open, letting the rain pour directly into his throat. I slowed down, thinking he was having a medical emergency. But as my headlights hit him, he didn't blink. He didn't move. He looked like a mannequin left out to rot. I drove home, heart hammering. I told myself it was just a local eccentric, a weirdo. But when I got into my kitchen to pour a glass of water, I looked out the window. There, at the very edge of my backyard, just past the tree line, he was standing there. Same pose, head back, mouth open. He had followed a car going 50 miles an hour, on foot. Day 4. The rain hadn't stopped. It was like the sky had broken. Every time I looked out a window, he was closer. 10 yards, 5 yards. Yesterday, he was standing right against the glass of the sliding door. I called the police. They came, they looked, they found nothing. No footprints in the mud, no flattened grass. They looked at me like I was the one who belonged in a ward. But here's the thing about the rain drinker. That's what I started calling him. He's not a ghost. Ghosts are cold. This thing is hungry. That night, the power went out. I was sitting in the dark with a flashlight when I heard it. A wet, slopping sound. Drip, drip, drip. It wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from the ceiling fan in my bedroom. I walked in, my breath catching in my throat. The ceiling was bone dry. But the floor? There was a puddle of dark, murky water forming right in the center of the rug. And then I heard the swallow. A deep, wet, gulping sound coming from the corner of the room. I shined my light into the corner. He wasn't there, but his shadow was. The shadow was cast against the wall, perfectly vivid, even though there was nothing there to create it. The shadow man had his head back, gulping down the air. And that's when I realized the rule. He doesn't want the rain. He wants the moisture. I felt a sudden, sharp sting in my eyes. I reached up to rub them, and my hand came away soaked. I wasn't crying. The fluid was being pulled out. My mouth went bone dry. My skin began to itch and crack, turning gray and brittle like old parchment. He wasn't just standing there. He was a vacuum, a biological sponge, and he had finally moved inside the house. I ran. I didn't grab my keys. I didn't grab my coat. I burst out into the pouring rain. And for the first time in my life, the rain felt like a miracle. I stood there, letting it soak into my skin, feeling my lungs fill back up. But then I looked down the street. Every house on my block had someone standing in the yard. All of them. My neighbors, the Johnsons, old Mrs. Gable. They were all standing perfectly still, heads tilted back, mouths wide open. They weren't victims anymore. They were waiting. They had been emptied out, and now they were just containers. I've been running for 3 days now. I can't stay in one place for too long. If it starts to rain, I have to find a crowd. Because as long as there are other people around, he has more sources to choose from. So if you're watching this, look out your window. Is it raining? If it is, and you see someone standing in the field or on the sidewalk or in your garden, don't call the police. Don't go outside to help. Close the curtains, turn off the lights, and whatever you do, don't let your throat get dry. Because once you feel that first sting in your eyes, it's already too late. He's finished with the rain, and he's coming for the rest of you.